Give it up for G-Eazy.
G-Eazy.
So what helps you say sane?
I don't claim to be sane. I'm somewhere in between Batman and bat shit.
My name is Gerald. You might know me as G-Eazy. What the fuck is that?
Love You Forever. It's about your mom who unfortunately passed, and it includes voicemails from her.
Opportunity cost. Was that her at the end of the...
cry. This is a good one. This is a good one. Thank you for this. I had called her to tell her that I was going to sign my deal. And I was in the office, like, signing that deal when she left that voicemail. You know, a message from a proud mother in this defining moment for her son.
Hey, Gerald, I just wanted to leave a message and repeat just how proud I am of you. You have risen to the peaks of behavior and creativity, and it's just the beginning, Gerald, and it's going to be your life by the sounds of it, and I'm just so proud. It's just beginning, and you're going to be blown away. And you have your grounding, and that's so rare. So I'll talk to you soon, and play on. Okay, sweetie, I love you. Bye-bye.
Man. If this conversation hits you in some way, if this uplifts you, shed some light on something for you, and inspires you, please do share this with your friends, family, whoever. We'd greatly appreciate it. Subscribe, comment, and like so that these messages can reach a wider audience and help support more creatives. Now, let's get into our conversation with G-Eazy. All right, welcome everybody back to another very special episode of Connection is Magic. Today we have a legend in the building, Oakland legend to be specific, young Gerald, aka G-Eazy.
What's up with it? How we doing?
Amazing, man. Thank you for making the time. I know you got a busy schedule. You're traveling the globe, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where'd you just get off tour from?
We were just in Australia, New Zealand, down under. Before that we did Europe, and then before that we did like 6 weeks in the States. First real tour in 6 years.
Incredible.
Yeah.
What's it like going from like that, I mean, that level of hype, right? You know what I mean? Down to like, okay, now I'm just gonna do some laundry.
Oh man.
Go catch a coffee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like driving in a NASCAR and then screech on the brakes. Hey.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, man. But you know, man, it's like you get a bit like disoriented almost. You know, like there's a bit of a whiplash.
For sure.
But man, we've been doing this so long. I don't even know what normal is anymore.
You know?
Okay,
Okay, we're gonna get into some of that.
Yeah,
I wanna hit your early part of your journey. I always ask guests where they're from, because like where we're from.
Well, originally I'm from my mom. I'm from my
All right, we're going OG style. Hello, the Bay, Oakland. What was like middle school, high school like for you, man?
Man, it's a kaleidoscope of culture. It's a very diverse place. It's a very vibrant place. It's that's why there's such a rich history of culture. You know, from you think of like the Summer of Love in San Francisco, and you know, like activism and protest and hippies and
Haight-Ashbury, right?
And
like
Haight-Ashbury, yeah. And then you know the Black Panthers, and all the way to to the hyphy movement. And now we're in a beautiful time in the Bay Area musically. I feel like, you know what I mean. And Lil Russell, he's got it. It's in good hands.
Oh, he just had him on.
Yeah. I was watching that, man. He did some tour days with me, man. He's just incredible.
Totally.
Yeah.
Also, just like killing on the independent level, you gotta like.
There's a long lineage and history of independent hustle. You know, like two of our our icons. You know,
Too Short
goes Too Short and 40. Yeah, both. You know what I mean. Really set the blueprint. And you know, built a game of like, that we've all studied is the independent hustle. And if they don't understand us, then we're gonna get it our way. We're gonna make this happen. If there's a will, there's a way. If there's a way, I will.
Love
what I mean? So coming off of, that kind of history and that kind of legacy and that kind of like, strategy and approach.
That's good pedigree right there, bro.
Yeah. So it's something in the water.
There's places like, Virginia, I'm sure you know the history of Virginia. There's these pockets, right? That just have this crazy history.
Yeah, and I think it's like, you think about that kind of history, you think about that kind of legacy, and it's like, it must be something in the water.
Shout out Pharrell.
You learn from what came before you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You stand on the shoulders of, and that's how you build it up and keep it going,
For sure.
You study the game, you pay attention, you you know how we got here.
You remember like your first Too Short album you purchased?
Oh man, I was 14, 15 when Blow the Whistle came out. And that peak, that spike of a moment that's still to this day, like, people don't get songs that are that iconic, that generational, that worldwide, that long lasting, go on and on. Can't understand how you last so long.
That's some real shit. I'm curious about the origins of the name G-Eazy. Like, did you have to go through another name before you selected that? Because I know Mac Miller was Easy Mac.
Generic.
No, are you serious?
Yeah, that was the name. I don't know if I've ever said that. Yeah, it was generic, but that didn't last too long.
Why the flip? Was it one of your homies?
Well,
was it you just?
So my name is Gerald, and I'm named after my grandfather. And growing up, there's not too many Geralds in school, so I kind of just, I was like, I didn't love my name at first, so I went by my initials, G-E. Yeah, my middle name's Earl, so I went by G-E, and then G-E just kind of became G-Eazy eventually.
Word. I know you just moved out of LA recently. Does it officially you because weren't you by coastal too for a minute?
So I've been in New York for a little over 2 years now. I'd planned on being kind of like back and forth until I got here, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going back. I liked life in New York a whole lot better. Yeah,
man. We were just talking about that before we started recording. I don't know. LA just has kind of a weird vibe to it now, right? I mean, I don't know. Yeah. It's just changed a bit,
Yeah, I mean, everything's not for everybody, and to each their own. In most major cities or whatever, you could probably find your pockets. You could find your version of that. Your routines, your subcultures, your, the people you kick it with, the places you go, the restaurants, the coffee shops, you know what I'm saying? But I just found myself in a cycle of LA, a part of LA, a pattern of LA and Hollywood that, and it's, you hear about this, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not the only one. But I just found myself there, and I was like, the only way to get out of it is to dramatically just bounce.
I'm a therapist, been around recovery, and sometimes like doing a geographic, they call it, where you switch places, you move to a new state, that could get looked down upon, but I'm like, that's stupid to look down upon that, because you're making it harder on yourself if you want to change your lifestyle in some way. You know what I mean? Being an artist, like, to me, is a crazy mix between, being a sensitive individual, but you also got to come off like super confident, you know what I mean? Hard as fuck. Like, it's like, man. Can you talk to me about that? Like, balancing those two energies? I mean,
it's a good thing I'm a Gemini, I guess.
You already got it.
And you have the cliche of the duality, the polarizing, like two sides. But at the same time, man, I mean, bro, it's not easy. And you gotta wear a lot of hats. You gotta be a lot of different things for different people. Because there's 24 hours in a day and there's 7 in a week. You know what I mean? And it's like, you're not always the, Friday night, like, sometimes it's Tuesday afternoon, you know what I mean?
That's so real, yeah, that's so real.
And there's a lot of life, like, and as like an empath, as a sensitive person, which is basically like a requisite to be a great artist, I think.
100%.
Like, you know what I mean? You're gonna live a lot of life, and it's gonna hit you hard because you're a person of feeling, a person of of heart, and
that's why people can feel what you put down.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's not for the faint of heart, man. It can be taxing to absorb all that, experience it, turn it into your writing, your creativity, and then put it out there in the world. And then still you gotta, in rap, I mean, this is rap, you know what I mean? So it's bravado, it's go be superhero, you know what I mean? It's definitely, there's levels and layers to it, yeah.
And it's challenging to balance both, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for everybody, like I said, you know what I mean? And there's I've been doing this so long, there's, at like a high level. But at the end of the day, man, it's like when showtime is showtime, the show has to happen. Yeah. It just has to.
Man, I watched you. I watched you because you do these little like tour clip documentary pieces, right?
Yeah.
And you were in there like you feel nervous still before every show, which is like
I was nervous for this level. I was nervous for this. I'm nervous right now. I'm nervous for every single show.
Every single thing.
Like, and there's something that rallies inside of me that drives me, that like you just like, people are always like, I don't know how you do it, man. I'm like, you just have to.
Wow.
Like, you just have to. And so you just do. You figure it out. Like, there's a healthy pressure if you know how, you can turn that into like gasoline.
You could channel it.
Channel it. you know, it's not easy.
No.
Actually, but you know.
So another Bay Area guy, again, La Russell was on the show, and I remember him saying when he went to the Breakfast Club, which is a pretty big platform,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
and he got, like his first appearance, Charlamagne was like kind of just like, he just like kind of just rolled out the red carpet and went kid gloves a little bit with him. And then like, he's like, all right, like, you know, show the world. And then DJ Envy, I remember being like, you're only going to be doing this in front of like 5 million people. Don't mess it up.
You gonna rap? Okay. You gonna rap?
All right. There's only millions of people listening right now. No pressure though. No pressure. Pressure.
You're not even, you do your thing. It's not live, do you?
I kind of threw him a little jab or something. I was like, and I asked the Russell about that. I was like, how'd that make you feel? He's like, I love it.
Yeah.
Because it made me channel something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Me, I wouldn't want that. I was like, oh, let me just get my focus in and do my thing, right?
No, man. I mean, that's, you know, you got to have grit. The greatest things in life come from hard work, from facing some adversity, from challenge. That doesn't mean that it's not like, you know, difficult or makes you sweat or you know what I mean, put some fear in your heart or exhausts you or, you know what I mean? You think about like, you know, champion athletes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, you watched Last Dance. Everybody saw Last Dance.
Competing against Jordan would be a bitch. Like, I'd be like, God, this is exhausting. Fucking trying to guard Steph would be exhausting. You know what I mean? But if you beat Steph, you know what I mean? That's the greatest reward. You know what I mean? And rising to that occasion, that challenge, that, you know.
You get to meet like a greater version of yourself, basically, right? That you're not going to get to meet.
Or like, or like another. You know,
another version of yourself.
Like, oh, you're one of us.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's dance.
Hey guys, just want to take a minute and say thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you're appreciating the content and that you are being uplifted and inspired. Please hit the subscribe button if you've not done so already. We've got so many more cool guests, powerful interviews, just raw truth being shared to uplift and inspire humanity. If you have not done so already, please follow the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Mean the world to us as we continue to grow this channel and this platform to continue to spread positivity in a world that really is hurting right now. Thank you so much for your support. It means the world. God bless. I think a good segue here is like, you know, before you got on, right? Like you were rocking out to music, listening to artists, obviously, and then one day you got in the room with these artists, right? And like, I heard Samara Sin is a new rapper. She's dope.
Yeah,
she's dope, right?
She's so dope.
Okay, this is shout out Samara because this is from you. But she was like, it's trippy to be in the crowd one day and then you're standing next to these people the next day. And she's like, you got respect and admiration, but you got to understand, like, you're in this room, like, you don't little bro yourself.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you go through that experience yourself?
God,
Can you tell us about that?
Because I think there's a healthy amount of, you know, admiration and fandom, you know, because that's respect. And, you know, like, I fell in love with this thing of ours, this music, you know what I mean? Like, I fell in love at a young age and I'm still in love with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I consider myself fortunate and lucky to have fallen in love with something I'm just passionate about. And that means that I love it. I love great music. I love watching great performances. You know what I mean? Like, that inspires me. That moves me. You know, it's like, wow. You know, but at the same time, it's like, I study it because I want to cut your head off. Like, I want to be that good. You know what I mean? Like, that it's that drive, and, you know, it's a healthy balance of humility and hunger. You could have a great deal of respect, you know, and admiration.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, a great deal of admiration and respect for yourself, and using that, like, both sides of it to drive you, you know.
That's beautiful. Yeah. So everybody out there, don't little bro yourselves.
Yeah. You got this, King. Come on, man. Boss up. Boss up, little King. Go get it.
So you got, you know, the new album's Freak Show, obviously, right? And I was thinking, like, the precursor to this album, you got the song Off the Beautiful and Damn Pray For Me, right? And you were like, the bar is like, talk to the man upstairs. Hope he answered my prayers. Hollywood feel like the jungle, lions and tigers and bears, right? Isn't that kind of a precursor a little bit?
Yeah. I can see it. Like, I mean, you know, this is a crazy ass world, you know.
Crazy ass game though too, right?
Crazy ass game, and, you know, I'm just here to document, you know. I'm just here to you know, to write my story, my experience in it.
So what helps you stay sane in the mix of all that craziness,
I don't
bro?
claim to be sane. Man, you know, I'm somewhere in between. I'm somewhere in between Batman and Batshit. Like, I'm crazy as hell, man.
Wow, that's a bar. Somewhere between Batman and Batshit.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, I do the best I can to keep my head on straight. you know, this life is like a hold on tight, like strap your seatbelts because this is a ride, and you know, and I've been on it a long time, and you know, if I wasn't like equipped or tough enough for it, then I'd be out of the game a long time ago.
So it doesn't get easier, you just get stronger.
Yeah, you just get stronger. Yeah. Nah, I always thought like, you know, there would be a cruising altitude. Like, all right, you can unbuckle your seatbelts. You feel free to roam around the cabin. Hey, enjoy your flight to your destination. Like, nah, it's turbulence the whole way. But you just get stronger in how to deal with it, and you stay locked in. And there's certain just values, like core values that are instilled in me that I'm grateful, you know, for what, like,
you were raised
the person,
well,
you know,
yeah.
was raised by my mother, and what she, you know, raised me in, just certain values and principles that you hang on to, no matter how crazy it all gets.
And you've shared about, you know, being in therapy before, right? Has that helped at all a little bit? Have you picked up some new awarenesses, insights about yourself?
Yeah, I've done a lot of therapy.
What's something maybe that, you know, you've learned about yourself, or somewhere you grew or something? You know?
Yeah. You're putting me on the spot now, and I've been out of therapy since the beginning of tour, and I really need to get back in it. I feel myself needing some tools.
Geez, therapist, hit him up. Let's go.
Yeah. Nah, man, but I mean, you know, self-reflection, you know, brutal self-honesty and awareness, you know, it's really important, man. I mean,
do you realize some people, like, you know, hide the truth for themselves for their whole lives, bro?
Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like just doing 80 like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Man,
So,
it's like Delulu, you know, and it's like, but I think you can feel the truth under there, you know? I don't know. That's it's like, even somebody who, you know, won't look themselves in the mirror or you know, lives that, you know, that delusionally, you know, I feel like that weight is like, you know, that iceberg under the water.
Well said.
You know what I mean? It's all there. And I think, you know, different people have different ways of, you know, coping mechanisms, or, you know, escapisms or distractions, or, you know, like at the end of the day, man, I mean, none of us really know what we're doing. Like,
we're figuring it
we're
out.
all figuring it out. We get one go at this, and we're,
Yeah.
you know, some of us are doing the best we can. Some of us could be doing better.
No, for sure.
But, you know what I mean?
For
But
sure.
like, you know, yeah.
So on that note too, like, because I feel like, man, you're a man that's grown a lot. So kudos to you. Like, big ups for that. Because you just hear it in the music. You know what I mean? You hear it in your interviews. But what's it like? This is trippy. Like, as you grow and evolve and just, you know, become different versions of yourself, you could listen to that record you made like 10 years ago, right? When you were in a different place. A little trippy, right? What's that like? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because most people don't have that, right? You know?
But there's also like, you know, I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about, like, somebody commented like you're like a kid or something like that, and it was like, there is like a you know, a youthful, like, childlike, like, you know, like the way kids see the world,
Bro,
you know what I mean?
the creative
like,
adult is the kid who survived this.
Yeah,
which is
literally.
it, yeah.
And so it's like, I listen to old records and I'm like, oh man, I hadn't found my voice yet, or, you know, the bars weren't as sharp, or this, that, and the other. But there's also just like, there's a beauty in naivety and in a certain amount of ignorance. You know what I mean? Like, I cringe when I hear my old stuff, but there's still an essence of you. You're just figuring it out. I try to keep, you know, a bit of lightness to my life.
Yeah.
I guess, and a bit of like childlike, you know, open-mindedness and joy and fun and open eyes, and you know what I mean, and just curiosity of the world.
For
that
sure.
makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it was Muhammad Ali said, like, some people live 60 of the same year, and some people live 60 different years or something. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? It's like, so you want to, the way to do that is you got to be open and, you know?
Yeah, man.
You know, a lot of people listen to the pod that are like creatives up and coming, trying to find their moment.
Yeah.
What is it, bro? Like that breakthrough moment. So I want to go back to, you were selling verses at one point for $50.
Yeah.
Did you share?
Like, yeah, there's still some cats out there that are like, keep trying to like release the song featuring G-Eazy, like something they bought for $50.
That's wild, bro.
Nah, like I said, I fell in love with this thing when I was 13.
Yeah.
And I've not fallen out of love, and it's not always loved me back. in the sense of, you know what I mean? You're not going to find success right away or an audience right away. But if you're ultimately doing it because you love doing it, not because you're getting rich doing it or because, you know, you're getting admired doing it or you're getting to live this type of lifestyle doing it. You're doing it because you love doing it.
Wow.
Like the actual act of doing it, it brings you joy and happiness and fulfillment and purpose. Like it's still the highest high, the best feeling is when a song's coming to life, you know, in the studio and find that like that cadence, that rhythm, that flow, that like the bars, the beats coming to life, the music, you hear the verse back, you know, on the bigs, like you driving home from the studio playing the bounce like 4 times back to back to back, that joy, like that has been so fun since I was 13 years old. Like that feeling
Hasn't gone away.
Hasn't changed, hasn't gone away, man. I'm just a whole lot richer now. Right.
How rough did it get before you were able to do this professionally?
Yeah.
I mean, can we talk about that, please?
Yeah. You know, I've always seen it as like, you know, getting by is everything beyond like rent and food and all that. Like that's luxury, you know, and of course it'd all be nice for sure. But like, you know, if I could get by, and I'd hit a certain point where it's like, all right, you know, you're done with school. You know, this is.
You went to music business school, by the way, for those.
Yeah. I went to college in New Orleans, at Loyola. And you know, you finish college and it's like, all right, now what? You know, most people get a job or go into a career path, or
you see your friends do that, right?
Yeah. And it's like, and I'm just still rapping, like uploading songs in my little like, you know, bedroom apartment, like, and
that existential moment really sets in, right?
You know, it's like literally existentially, like, you know, but what are you actually gonna do with your life? You know what I mean? If this doesn't, you gotta figure it out. And I'd always been into like collecting sneakers, so I sold all my shoe collection and most of my stuff.
That's what you kind of did for money before you started making money as a rapper.
Well, yeah. So like, and moved into a suitcase. You know, like I was literally, I had like 2 pairs of black jeans, a leather jacket, and some black t-shirts. And that's around the time I first started touring. But it was still like, you know, I was making $100 a show opening up for Swayze. And then I got on Van's Warped Tour, making, I think, $500 a show, and then opened, you know, for a few more people. And I was just going tour to tour to tour, and it was like taking what I could get. It wasn't, you know, I would just like, what else? You know what I mean? It was, right. And I didn't have an apartment. I didn't have a lease or anything.
Damn.
I just literally had a suitcase of clothes.
Wow.
And was just all in on it. And in between, I would just like, you know, stay on friends' couches or, you know, like come home to the Bay for a couple weeks, like stay at mom's, and then it started to take, you know, it's some momentum started, and I went from opening, and then I did my first headline tour, and you know, we were doing like 300 people, 400 people, and we sold out the Roxy in LA, and I remember the line for the show at the Roxy, you know, sold out, went all the way down past the Wicked Go-Go. You know what I mean? And that was like, something's happening here. Something's happening here. It's finally happening.
Like that was the moment.
And then I just, you know what I mean? I never looked back.
No, it's beautiful, man. That was like poetry, the way you said that. Somewhere in the mix there, I think you came out here, right? You were flown out, you met with the label, they passed.
Oh yeah.
That happened somewhere.
That was earlier, yeah.
That was way before that, all right.
Yeah, I was still in school.
Bro, can we talk like the...
Yeah, oh man.
The letdown, bro? Come on.
Bro.
Yeah,
like, all right, so stories like this, I'm 19 years old, and I have a song on MySpace. And it's crazy because the singer I made the song with, he's from New Orleans. I ran into recently in New York, Greg Banks. Crazy. Shout out Greg Banks. And a friend of mine manages him, which is crazy. Full
circle ass
like,
moment.
I was
right
like,
there,
wait, what? Greg? Like, yo, this is good.
Anyway,
that song was kind of like doing kind of a little something, and I got flown out. I had some interest, like RCA and Atlantic had flown me out to go meet with them. I'm in New York for the first time. I'm like, these buildings are so huge. It's like, I'm calling all the homies like back home, like, yo, I'm about to get signed, bro. I'm out here in New York, man.
You're
This
really
is
feeling
crazy.
yourself,
You feel me?
right?
Hey, man, you feel me? Yeah, RCA flew me out. You know what I'm talking about, man? I'm in a hotel room. I took pictures of a hotel room. I've never been in a hotel. Like, bro, like, you know, this is crazy to me. I'm like, man, they flew me out in style.
It's so real, bro.
They
real.
wine you and dine you. They take you out to a nice dinner the night before. Then you come in and you slid under these like fluorescent lights in this boardroom, and you know, and you meet the label, and you know, and they're like, so what's your story? You know,
That's what they say. What's your story?
Afternoon type. You know what I mean? And it's just like I froze, like, you know, and
you weren't
nervous
able,
as hell, man.
You weren't able to channel it that
man.
one time.
and in retrospect, man, it's the best thing that ever happened to me, because it's like I wasn't ready then. I didn't know fully who I was yet. I didn't have the music figured out. To get signed to a shitty deal, you know, I didn't have any leverage or anything.
Yeah,
you know what
I mean,
At
you might have not gotten a release, right?
Yeah,
You know,
so it's like, but you know, that was all I knew at the time, and that was my only like lifeline. And they don't say they're not going to sign you. They just say, we're going to be in touch. Like, have a safe flight home. Like, we'll call you. And then they never call.
Damn.
You know what I mean? And that feeling of rejection, that feeling of inadequacy, that feeling of like, well, they're the best. This is it. And they took a good look at you under fluorescent lights and they said, no, he's not it. That's when
Did
my
you
mind
think it
went.
was a rap for a second? Like for real?
I mean,
like
maybe for
just
a second.
Oh, a second.
Like
right,
an
right.
actual, and that was how fast it was.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Because circling back, I just love this to do it. You know what I mean? So as long as it's still bringing me joy, and it's not always the highest levels of joy. Of course, there's pain in process. You know what I mean?
Bro,
and like,
going to the gym hurts.
I was about to say, like, yo,
Yeah,
there's
like-
pain in process,
Yeah.
and you gotta love the pain as much as you love the joy. And ultimately, you know, I'd crave those moments of joy in the process,
Bro.
and I'd fight through the pain to seek those, and eventually, you know, you find enough of those moments of joy, and you build momentum, and you create, and then you figure out, oh, this is what works. Oh, let me, you know, fine tune and do more of what works. Let me work smarter, not harder.
Period.
And have a plan, and you know, be focused, and then oh my God, okay, now this is working, but it's working on account of what I made work. You know, It wasn't an RCA or a label shaping me or telling me what to, or you know, it was I figured this out on my own, and that's so rewarding. It's so rewarding, and the thing is, and I'm experiencing now in my older age, like, you know, that it lasts forever. Going on this tour and playing songs that are 12 years old, and these you know, the fans are screaming the words like it's the #1 song, like country type shit. Like that's like you create something that lives with people in their hearts and homes forever.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it gets them through tough times, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's a beautiful thing you're doing, you know? In one interview, I think you said your songs are a mix of happy and sad or something like this. Does that ring a bell? Yeah. It's just representative of life.
Of life.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, and
you know who else had that, bro? I'm telling you, man. R.I.P. Mac Miller. Amazing, right? He was able to tap into that.
Yeah.
Now, you guys were close, right?
Yeah.
Man, can you share one of your favorite Mac Miller memories? Would that be cool?
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
please.
Man, Mac was an incredible human being with a huge heart and a beautiful brain. Like, he, you know, like, God, the talent was in him.
Insane.
Yeah, but like the care and the level of heart he had, and you know, just like deep down to his bones, a good person. And like we've been talking through this interview, it's like, you know, this life is challenging. It's you know, it's everyone's life is hard, man. You know what I mean? But like specifically, like holding on in this industry, you know, and being forward facing and a public figure and in the public eye, and you know, it's tough on you, man. It's a lot. As he and I became real close, like, I think we saw a kindred spirit in each other. You know what I mean? Like, oh, there's another one of us.
For sure.
Like, we saw something in each other that we identified really closely with. And, you know, we would check on each other. Like, those little check-ins go a long, long way, especially if you know that, you know, particularly, like, you know, he and I, you know, at one time were going through relatively similar kinds of like situations and
Yeah.
chapters. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, just when you have a friend like that you check in on and just ask if they're okay. You know what I mean? That
Absolutely.
goes a long fucking way.
Absolutely. So 2 things I want to touch on. One is a lot of aspiring creators like listen to the show and you're kind of breaking the bubble in a way because it's like, man, when you have this, you know, big, huge success, there's gonna be different challenges, right? It's like you can't pay your rent challenges, right? Now you got some different challenges.
Yeah.
So that's just keeping it 1,000.
Yeah.
You know, and then the other thing I thought of when you're sharing is like, you know, both you and Mac, man, your music heals people. It's like for real, like, you know, it's a blessing, right? So y'all got to make sure y'all are good so you guys can keep helping people, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's where like autonomy and like, you know, Gerald and G-Eazy come into play, I think. You know what I mean? And even like you had said, like going from tour to like coming home and like slamming on the brakes. That separation of church and state and kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if Gerald's not good, then I can't give you G-Eazy, you know? Then
Bar.
yeah. I'll drop the mic, but it's on a little mic stand.
If you're a creative who's struggling with burnout, anxiety, depression, trauma, you're trying to move forward and you're feeling stuck and you can't, I'm a therapist and former music executive. I understand the journey very well. Tap in with me. Link is in the show notes. Book a complimentary session now. Blessings on the path. On the note, since we're in like the feels right now, man, that the Love You Forever record written to your mom, bro. Whew.
Man.
Like I'm telling you, bro, like I had to stop the record. It's so intense. There was another question I had on that was Opportunity Cost.
Yeah.
That song. Was that her at the end of the...
cry.
Woo!
Do you cry?
Absolutely. Bro.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, it might happen in this interview.
Normalize crying, man.
Safe space. Safe space.
Yeah.
No, man, I'm in the feels as well right now. But
man.
What moment
Yeah.
was it that she left you that message, right?
Damn,
Like,
dude. Yeah. This is a good one. This is a good one. Thank you for this.
Absolutely.
It was RCA and Atlantic 6-7 years, it was like 6 years later, ended up being the 2 labels in a bidding war over me. So when I got flown back out, once I got the ball rolling again, and I touring independently, you know, and then the labels came back and getting flown back out, and I'm like, you remember me, right? I told you I'd be here. Like y'all passed then. This time it's on my terms. Otherwise, I close the briefcase and I go do business next door because you know what I mean? Like, this is what time I'm on now.
Wow.
And it was such an achievement because it was like 5 or 6 years after that experience. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like there was label interest in between those 5 years. It was just me figuring my shit out, you know, fighting back from that kind of like feeling of rejection or, you know, and
you were in the
feeling a bit lost,
mud, right?
Yeah, in the mud, like a bit lost, you know, quite frankly. And, you know, also in those formative years between 19 and 24, you're figuring out who you are.
Absolutely.
Like that's where you decide who you want to be in your life. And yeah, I had called her to tell her that I was going to sign my deal. And she didn't answer. She wasn't by her phone. And by the time she called back, I'll never be happier that I didn't answer one of her calls. It's this moment because I got that voicemail. And I was in the office like signing that deal when she left that voicemail. And it was like, man, you know, it was so like perfectly articulated the way she said it, you know.
I got chills just thinking about the message right now, bro. Yeah.
Just, you know, a message from a proud mother.
Yeah.
Like in this, you know, really, you know, defining moment for her son. And she's like,
she's like, this is gonna be
your
life.
By the
your life.
Yeah.
And like she's like, you got all the grounding in you, like to be able to handle it, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got goosebumps right now. It's heavy.
Yeah.
Man.
Ah.
Okay, wait. But then switching gears too, man. Like, you know, one proud moment you had was you bought her a crib, if I'm not mistaken, right? And I think she had like some type of art studio in the garage. And
Yeah.
No, Mom, I'm parking. Wait, can you tell us that story? Which was kind of gangster. Mom's kind of gangster too.
So I got to buy her a house in Oakland. She never owned a house, you know. And that's another defining moment for a human life. You know, if you get a chance to own some land, some property, a piece of the earth, and I was living in LA, so I would drive up and down, go visit her. And I said, I'll leave one of my cars here. I could just park in the garage, and so I have a car when I come visit you. And I was like, I'll just leave it in the garage. She said, no, you won't. I was like, well, she's like, I don't park my car in your studio.
Love that.
I don't park my car in your recording studio. No, you're not parking in that garage. That's my studio.
Mom's a G.
Oh my gosh, she was a G. She was so fucking cool and iconic, man.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
So her thing was photography, if I'm not mistaken, as well, right?
Printmaking and photography.
Yes, and then you picked up, you have a new Instagram account as well, right, for photography?
Yeah, I gotta get back on it, man. I'm not that consistent with it, but she was a professor, she taught printmaking and photography. She taught at a very nice school in San Francisco Art Institute. But it's not like teachers really make a lot of money, so it's but the kids that could afford to go there were, to study art is, it's not like you graduate with a degree in art and necessarily have a job waiting for you. It's, so as a kid, she almost discouraged me, as she saw me falling in love with music, and I was also always into graphic design and calligraphy, typography, and photography as well, like many things, like visual, not just music. But she would kind of almost discourage me, like, Gerald, I teach kids, art, but we come from a different, you're gonna have to figure out how to make a living. You know what I mean? Like, the arts, they don't, it's, this is.
It's almost struggling artist.
Yeah. And having been raised by a single mom raising two boys, we never had much at all. So her being like, don't chase this.
Wow.
Because art is a really hard place to, you know what I mean? And the kids that I teach come from families not like ours. They can afford to study this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And do this and, fall back on trust funds and shit like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's real.
Trust fund kids get to go study at prestigious art schools most of the time, you know what I mean? And not worry about what they're going to do to make a living. You know what I mean? It's a luxury to get to just make art full time, you know what I mean? And it's very hard to find the intersection of art and commerce and to be successful at it. It's that's why I get really defensive, when people critique anybody successful in the arts, because it's how fucking hard this is to make a living at it. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to find a way to become popular or meet in the middle or make it viable. You know what I mean?
One of my lines I had written down, bro: to make it in music, now you have to be genius. Chances slim as Christian
Bale when he shot the machinist.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a quote I should quote all the time, man, before I heard that song. Leaders are visionaries with a poorly developed sense of fear and no concept of the odds against them. They make the impossible happen. Bar, right?
Bars.
Yeah.
Poorly developed.
It's like you can't when you're doing this shit, you can't look down, basically.
No. The second you do, you psych yourself out. But there's, I think I've tried to, and I've this is something I've worked throughout my life and career, and it wavers because when you get in that zone where you're tunnel vision, and you're flying,
it's locked in,
locked
absolutely.
you know what I mean? But I'm smart and I'm aware, and I, it's not like I proceed with caution or think too much, because you think too much and you get psyched out, and
absolutely.
You know what I mean? You can be you let that fear seep in. But if you're too fearless and you accidentally fuck up shit.
Can I share something which is funny? I just happened. I randomly met Larry David. Bro, he's made me laugh so many times. And I was talking to him, and I was fine, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm talking to Larry David. I got in my head, and I was like, I started mumbling. You know? What I mean?
Oh man, man, I've been there. But I've also had them the moments where it's oh shit, man, me and Steph just broke down for an hour straight. You know what I mean? And I didn't even blink or think. You know what I mean? If I would have just been oh shit, I'm currently in a conversation with Steph Curry. I should probably think about this. What should I say? Oh my God, you know what
you gotta stay out of your head, bro, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just be present.
Just be present. That's and it. Just flow.
You got to meet Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me what stood out from your meeting with Kobe?
Man, he walks up to me, he's like, young Elvis, what's up?
Bro.
Man, and I'm just so.
How do you not, you know what I'm saying? How do you not go in your head for that? But yeah.
But I actually, real talk, I kind of didn't. I was there and I stared him in his eyes, And I had met him after, it was a season he came back from his Achilles. So he took a whole year off. And when Kobe tore his Achilles, a part of me, like, my heart was broken because Kobe was such a presence throughout my whole life. You know what I mean? It was like, it was my connection to my dad. Like, that was the closest, like, you know, we'd watch Laker games. You know what I mean? And I was at the age where, like, you know, 2000 finals, I was, like 10 years old or something. You know what I mean? So, like, old enough to be in love with basketball and old enough to finally understand it and old enough to, but young enough to like see it as a heroic, like magical, like
real talk
figure, you know what I mean? Like, and you know, like Kobe was always my, you know, like favorite player, my hero. And when he tore his Achilles, a part of me knew that I'd never get to see the same Kobe again. Like I knew he'd probably fight back and come back. Because that's just a workaholic he is.
But the larger than life, you know what I'm saying, figure.
Yeah. It would be a different, you know, at that age. But yeah, when I met him, I said thank you. Thank you for working so hard to come back because you didn't have to, you know, but to give us more basketball before it's all said and done.
Wow.
And he was like, of course, G. What else I'm gonna do?
Is that what he said?
All I know is work.
Oh my God.
I was like, all right, I'm ready to just go run through a wall. Let's go to the studio tonight. I'm about to record 3 albums. It's like,
this is the
nobody was out working that guy.
The job's not finished, guy. Right?
Job's not finished, you know. And I've reached a point in my life where it's like, it's also important to stop and smell the flowers. You can't smell a rose from a galloping horse. Like that was a proverb. That was a proverb my grandpa.
Young Gerald with the bars.
Yeah, like you know, you gotta, you know, like. You gotta be present. You gotta appreciate, because if not, why? Like, what is this? You know, there's a teetering balance between the obsession of work and enjoying the life you work so hard to live.
Yeah, I love that. That's why I heard you say, like, with billionaires, it's like all dick measuring contests or something, right? You said it's like what do you? Yeah. How much bread do you really?
Yeah. How much do you need? Yeah.
Yeah, that was dope. Speaking on that note, man, you've walked away from some pretty serious bags yourself. I mean, the H&M thing was public. I heard you also walked away from a bag in like Saudi Arabia, and then you're like, nah, and they doubled it. So I'm just, you know, just want to at least salute you and be like, man, if it's not in line for you, you're gonna walk away. I mean, you did. So,
you know, I mean, views and values again, and you know, like, there's money's a tricky thing, man, because I've had it and I've not had it, and I remember my grandma telling me when I was a kid, like, 2 rules. If you want to keep your friends, don't talk about religion and politics with everybody. And second rule is money's not fair.
Go more into that.
It doesn't always go to those who deserve it. You know, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Don't expect it to be, you know, a fair part of this universe. Like, it always makes sense, you know. Only thing you can control is how hard you work and, you know, how you treat people. Like, the capitalist, like, pursuit of, like, just greed and richer and richer and richer and all that is like, you know, like, travel the world, and the socioeconomic disparity, if you know what I mean, it's like is crazy. And you know, once you get to a certain like place, you're like living a quality of life that's better than the whole most of the world, you know what I mean? And then to still be driven by like greed of like more and more and more and more and more of that, it's like, you know,
I mean, think about the torment within the person that's living that way. Like you said, you can't smell a rose from a galloping horse, right? So there's a balance with it. To walk that line is hard for a lot of people. Do you agree?
Yeah, you know? Absolutely.
Yeah. So on that note too, like, as your career started to take off, you had a circle of friends then. Did that change at all? Did some come with, some not,
course,
you know?
Of course. So, I mean,
what's that like?
You know, like, you have chapters of your life, and you know, people grow together and sometimes people grow apart. That's just, you know, the natural, you know, you can't expect to, you know what I mean? Yeah, people evolve, people change, people mature, people like.
I got some friendships, you know, I'm thinking of, bro, like one of my homegirls, right? We were like so close, and then she got in a relationship, and we never dated. We were just homies, right? Yeah. And then she got in a relationship, bro, and I'm like, like, she just kind of she went ghost because she was out of state, and now she's with this guy, and I don't know, that made me, I think about that still. It made me sad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, and it's like, and people will come and go in your life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Do you have a couple of those where your heart's like, oh, I miss that person?
For sure, man. And, you know, like you said, whether it's, you know, like I've got homegirls like that, you know, or when I moved to New York, you know what I mean? Like I realized, like, you know, some of like who I would think my best friends, you know, were in LA. And as soon as I didn't, like, you know, I wasn't there to go out and party with them, or, you know what I mean, or see them as frequently, it's like I stopped hearing from them. But also I stopped, like,
as well.
You know what I mean, as well. And it's like, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I think the, like, guilt of, like, never switch up, never change, never, like, that's a misconception. But it's like, yo, I'm allowed to, like, I'm interested in different things.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm kind of more into this now.
Yeah, we always attach it to something, like something's gone wrong or something.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
No,
like,
I just don't want to do that anymore. Like,
yeah.
I'm
Also, there's a saying called nature abhors a vacuum. I'm sure you've heard of that. So it's like when there's empty space, like nature want to fill it. So you might meet some new dope friends, right?
Yeah,
Along the way, you know, now there's space.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting way to think of it, you know? We're still on, like, money a little bit, right? So I was talking to my girlfriend recently, like, the idea of, like, buying nice shit because you enjoy the nice shit, or buying nice shit because it's a flex. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think about the difference there?
I'm in a new, it was coming back from this last leg of tour, and I was, you know, packing up my suitcases, and, you know, I'd, like, gone shopping out there, and you know what I mean? And it just occurred to me, I was like, yo, like, I don't think I want to buy anything. I'm like, I'm like tired of acquiring objects, and it's like, how much does one person really need? Like, and I mean, I don't know. Something just clicked and turned, and it was like I couldn't get the suitcases to shut, and then I thought about going home and unpacking them. You know what I mean? And then, oddly enough, my biggest suitcase got lost in New Zealand, and it just got back today, 2 weeks later. But I didn't really. I mean, I had some expensive shit in there. I kind of need that back.
Tripping for a second.
It's like some jewelry and a lot of Saint Laurent, and I'm like, all right, it's, you know, it's like, you know, some money in there. I kind of need that back. But outside of that aspect, I was like, I don't really, like, miss anything in there that bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Circling back, like, to when I was living out of a suitcase with a couple black t-shirts, some black jeans, and a jacket.
When you're
there's like a wabi-sabi like philosophy of like minimalism and reducing, you know, distractions or overstimulation or, you know, decision fatigue. I mean, that's why I love like a uniform, is why like I'm married to the all black. It just takes out, you know, like one thing out of your day, that having to decide and think, you know what I mean? It's like, which leaves space for, you know, to think and experience and feel other things. Yeah.
You know, there's another Bay Area guy that was doing that too, Steve Jobs. You know, the classic, sneakers with the black shirt.
Yeah, man.
That was good shit.
His biography is one of my favorite books.
With Walter Isaacson, right?
Yeah.
Damn, I have a friend that read that like 5 times. Did you read that multiple?
I've read it twice. It's about, I'm about due for another read. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing? Because a lot of people listening, man, probably haven't read it. Like, can you give them a couple takeaways?
I'll tell you. He did a commercial for the first Macintosh, and it was like very artsy, like I think like 15-minute commercial, and everyone was like, you know, what the fuck, why, you know what I mean? This, like, and he was just like full, like, no, this is my vision, I'm sticking to it, and I think they had like a premiere for it, and it got a standing ovation. And it was a victorious moment of like, yes, this is why I stick to my guns. And that just as a like inspiring like message example, and, you know, it's like you can take that story and apply it, you know, to yourself in your own way. It's like, no, if you feel it in your heart of hearts, you know, like, it's rewarding if you stick to it. Like, if you really, 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 like, you know, you believe it and you're willing to work as hard as you possibly can, you know, to see it through. You know what I mean? That's
beautiful, man.
Yeah.
And on that note, like, everybody listening, like, be careful who you share your vision with early, bro, because it's like this little petri dish. You don't want to put nothing to pollute the petri dish in there. Does that make sense?
Oh, that's crazy. What's a petri dish?
It's like in science, you know, with like the lab coats and shit like that, the white coats.
Yeah.
You're just like doing little experiments in the petri dish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Back in like 3rd grade science class.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because what I thought of was like, man, it's crazy. I picked up this little seed when I was like 4, like walking with my mom one day.
Yeah.
And I took it home and I I put it in a Dixie cup of some dirt and I watered it, like, and that shit sprouted.
Come on.
And then I put it in and then now that shit's like a huge fucking Japanese maple leaf tree.
That's insane.
Don't let nobody tell you that you can't water your little seed in a Dixie cup of dirt, because one day that shit'll be a tree.
We got the clip right there,
You heard it
G.
from me. Come on,
we got
baby.
The clip right there. Now you're doing this Helium project, right?
Yeah.
Can we chat a little bit on
Yeah,
that? Okay, please.
Yeah.
Tell us about the inspo,
Yeah.
behind it. And by the way, how many times, I'm gonna put some vulnerability out there.
Mm-hmm.
I've like broken up and got back together with the same chick, like, not right now, thankfully.
Yeah.
But back in the day, we've all been there, right?
Yeah. We broke up, then got back, then got back, then got back, then got back together. Yeah. It's an album by Gerald about the highs and lows of love and life. That's the essence of
love in general, not one particular like relationship.
And love in general, and love to a person, love to a passion, love to a purpose, like all of the above, love to life itself, like love, but just the feelings of love and how, it can feel fleeting at times. It's terrifying at times. You know what I mean? And if you climb too high in a tree, you know what I mean? The branches get thinner and the tree wobbles and you get scared of heights. And like highs are terrifying, but they feel high. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But then you can crash down, and it's like it's the roller coaster, the waves of the highs and lows of of love and heartbreak. And something can only hurt you as much as you allow it to, in the sense of the power you give it through. Like, if I don't care about something, then it doesn't have the power to hurt me. Like, you can't even dude, like, you can't touch me. Like,
but you're missing out on like the colors of life,
but if I
bro.
love you, then you're careful, because you have the power to crush me. It's like, if you love something, you also open yourself vulnerably to the potential,
the opposite,
like hurt. Yeah. So, it's that. It's like, but goddamn, how beautiful and shiny love can be, like a beautiful balloon. You know what I mean? Like, but. There's that thought that, like, if I let go of this and it flies too high, then it's gone. Or if, I hold it forever too long, next week it'll be crumpled up and not as,
Yeah, for real.
So
we were talking about that before we started recording, about like how sometimes when we chase like those shiny things, like, you know what I mean? But they become dull quick. But sometimes when you commit to something that's a little more dull at first, it could become shiny and beautiful later. You know what I'm saying? So
Bars. You got him, man.
We're trying, bro.
Yeah, man.
I love this line because I'm a believer in like giving your all to a craft, right? So you rapped before, no shortcuts, it ain't no cheese there.
I said that?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I do meet and greets before every show. Be like 100 fans that and they get in early, they line up, they take a picture, and I get a minute to talk to them. And these are like the diehard fans, And sometimes it'd be like, man, you got to play this song. That was my favorite. I was like, how do you know that? Like, fuck. I mean, I haven't thought of that song in 10 years. Like, how do you even know that song? And they'd be like, nah, and they know every word. I'm like, yo, I don't remember how that song even goes. That was like 800 songs ago.
Oh my God. For real, straight up?
Dead ass, yeah.
Wow. I feel like people, with the whole, like, with, Instagram, Amazon Prime, like everything just instantaneous.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any like wisdom, man, if you're like an aspiring artist listening to this, like just any general wisdom on paying your dues, putting your time in, any more thoughts on that? Because it's relatable.
10,000%. It's, you get what you give. And if you give it your all, I mean, it's, not to be cheesy, but like, if you give it your all, then it's so rewarding when it gives it all back to you. You know what I mean? So it's like, you can make top ramen. I mean, I made a ramen before coming here. I love ramen. You know what I mean? But that's not like as delicious as a home cooked meal made with love. There's the things that take time, that you marinate, that you preheat the oven, that you know what I mean? You season, you garnish like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And there's an appreciation of process, and then there's appreciation in the consumption. You know what I mean? Because it's made with love and care and attention to detail and thought. And it's hard because that's like increasingly seeming like an old school way of thinking in today's just like TikTok attention spans and microwave everything. And songs used to be like 3 minutes and 30 seconds. you can't get somebody to listen no longer than, you know, I mean, a minute 48 now. You know what I
Tops.
mean, rappers used to rap 3 16-bar verses, you know, 3 16s in a hook, and, you know, it was a 4-minute song. It's like, what? Now it's, you can't get 12-bar verses. Like, it's so, like, you know, fast, and the tools to create are, you know, the barrier of entry is, you know, shattered, you know.
Nothing.
There's nothing. Everything is, you know, spliced together, and it's just, you know what I mean? And it's, and AI is even terrifying. I don't even go into that. You know, that's a whole nother,
That's
like,
a whole nother podcast. So yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
man. I mean, we just do a whole, yeah. I'll be here all week. Yeah, I'm just bring over a sleeping bag. You know, but I guess in my heart of hearts, I still believe that all hope is not lost, and that if you make something of merit, that it'll stand the test of time and it's worth it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And like, you know, to your point about earlier, you talked about the record label past. You're like, you weren't ready.
Yeah.
They were gonna sign a half-baked version of G.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
It's one of those things, like, it's tough in the moment, but it's rewarding when you, I mean, back to the gym, and I hate going to the gym, but like, you know, I would imagine people who go to the gym a lot and stuff, like, you know, it sucks while you're in there, but like, it's, you know, it's that process. It's that,
and nobody could take it away from you.
No.
You know what I'm saying? That's the beautiful thing right there.
Yeah, it's on your person.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
It's like, and, you know, the crazy feeling of getting up on these stages now, and you know, and even playing, like, Me, Myself, and I. I'll probably perform that song like 1,300 times now.
Wow, come on.
Like in 10 years, yeah, maybe at least close to 1,000, maybe, if I actually did the math or whatever. But thinking about, like, all around the world, all these countries, and it's like, that's a forever song, and it just speaks to something that's timelessly human.
That's like the comeback song. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's also that push to get through something. Man.
Yeah, it's also, it's a love letter to, like, to process, to music, to the lonely quest of greatness. You know, it's like, I don't need anything. It's just, you know, I have me, I have the music, I have, you know, like, block everything else out and just lock in. I mean, Bebe Rexha is a phenomenal, incredible talent, and she changed my whole life, you know, the day we met, and, you know, we started that song.
When you heard that in the studio for the first time, did you
I was like,
did you know? Like, you for sure knew, like, this shit was out of here.
Yeah, man. We had a session, and she said she had a couple ideas she wanted to play me, and that was the second one she played me, and it was just like a demo, just like piano and her vocal, I think, at the time, and I was like, that, like, and like, I heard it in my head, like, you know, the drums being halftime, and then what part of her vocal to use as chorus, and how I could interpret it as a rap song, you know, because, like, that's that relationship between chorus and verses. And hip hop is like, all right, the chorus is summarizing, like, this in this amount of space. Now, how do I rap in this amount of space to, like, represent the essence of what the chorus is saying? And how do I, like, because, like, the like, language and like, you know, amount of even words and verses is so much more than, like, big chorus, you know.
So how long did it take you to actually pen it? Like, I'm curious, like, pen those verses. Was it pretty fast? Couple days?
Yeah,
like,
it was fast. It was fast. But we took all the time in the world to keep going back and, like, work on the production, adding in different chords, little sounds. You know, we mixed it, like, a ton of fucking times, and everyone kind of knew that was like, yo, if we spend, like, 100 hours on this song, it's fucking worth it, because this could be that, like, one that'll change your life. And yo, the right 3 minutes and 30 seconds could change your whole entire life.
Bro, my mentor from Interscope would always say that. He goes, you're only 3 minutes and 30 seconds away from a whole new life.
Yeah. Yo. Yeah, man.
Insane, bro.
Yeah.
There it is in real time. The Bay has some fun sayings, bro. Like, can you bless us with some levity here? Like, yada I mean. What is that? What does that mean?
Yada I mean. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
What else you got for us?
Yee. Yeah, that's you see somebody across the street, like, yee. You know, it's crazy because I can say yee, like, if I see somebody in an A's hat, you know, in around the world or some shit like that, or you could just shout it like Like say you
like I know too.
Like yeah, it's like who what? Like who's from the Bay? What? You know what I mean?
If I see somebody eating a fire burrito or something, I'd be like, yay! Like, where do you use it or not?
Nah, it's oh man, it's hard to explain. Just yay, yay, yay.
That's crazy. A lot of people kind of can speak negatively on social media, but social media can change people's lives, and there's positivity. There's positivity in social media too. So I don't know.
It's
like
a wide world, and it's a whole wide spectrum, and it's it's impossible to like uniform, everything under like one umbrella or roof. So it's like these platforms, these tools, it's really up to like how you use them and what you do with them, and the communities you reach.
You talk about that a lot, right? Duality.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So you cross paths with a lot of different fans. Was there a fan encounter that sort of sticks out among like the different memories of crossing paths with fans?
Yeah, there's a song on my new album about a fan, and the intention of the song was like, to talk about the duality of. So I meet fans in the meet and greet before the show, and there's been multiple fans I've met and like who have come to multiple meet and greets, and after like the third one or something, I'll be like, yo, you don't have to keep buying these, like you're good. Like I appreciate you for being such a huge fan.
Amazing.
You know what I mean, and being so solid and supporting me. That's crazy. Like take my team's information, whatever. You have a lifetime pass to any show you ever want to come to, and I've kept in touch with some fans who've like been to like 50, 60, 70 shows of mine, over the years. Wow. and like are still around. But the song I wrote was like about what happens when they stop coming to the shows, or one day they aren't a fan anymore. And the story was about somebody who had like a tattoo of me, and then got another tattoo, and then had a ton of tattoos that were all G-Eazy related. Wow. And I stopped seeing them at shows, and I never want to like make it so specific, like it's what I mean, and single out and I turn it into a bit of a story, because this is creative arts. This is not meant to be like held under a magnifying glass of like we're not in court, it's like So like framing it as the story of like we all want to be admired. We like the attention. We like the love. But that also comes with the pressure of living up to who they see you as. You know what I mean? And damn, what if one day I just couldn't turn the button on and be G-Eazy for you anymore? What if like I was over it? What if I couldn't muster it up today? What if I can't be the hero that you hold me to this pedestal at? You know what I mean? Or, what if one day you just weren't a fan anymore? Like I showed up. And you just weren't there to appreciate it. You know what I mean? It's like, damn. And just, that kind of like, that.
Dope concept.
Complicated, yeah.
Dope
Thank you,
concept. Well done. I interviewed Jack Black one time, man, and he said something. I want to like trade notes with what he said. He's like, sometimes the biggest killer of creativity is like, before you take off and you get the fame, nobody knows who you are, and you're drawing inspiration from all over the world and all of life. And like, as you blow up a bit, now you got to kind of cut yourself off from the world a bit, and you start to lose that inspiration. Yeah. Is any of that relatable?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And, there's a balance, because like, I love to hang out. Yeah. I love to be outside. It's just, I'm just fascinated by the world.
For sure.
And I love
so it makes you an artist.
I love living in New York, where I could just get to walk. Yeah. Like, nobody bothers me. Like, they don't care here. It's not like.
It's different in LA for sure, right?
Yeah. And nobody walks in LA.
Yeah.
But like, what I mean? You could walk from Lower East Side to East Village to Nolita to Soho and back down, you know what I mean? And through Chinatown, and like, and you would have seen like 5 vastly different universes in the span of like an hour walk, you know what I'm saying? And, the little short conversations, or you know what I mean? You stop in the coffee shop, you see, you know what I mean? Or this restaurant, and you see your friend, like, or stop at the barber shop, or go get a slice of cigars, like, you know what I mean? And you run into people, and you like, you gotta live. You gotta be exposed to just energy and human beings and stories. You know what I mean? To stay inspired and tapped in and connected.
Yeah, and it's easier to do here. Yeah. And I remember you said you could just be chilling in a coffee shop, and Chris Rock is like off to the side, and nobody's doing nothing, right?
Yeah. True story. Yeah, I was like, oh shit, that's Chris Rock behind the line.
That's so funny. What about this, man? Favorite song that you didn't write and why?
Oh man, favorite song I didn't write. Man, there's so many great songs out there in the world that I didn't write.
What's at the top of the heap for you?
Man, The Passenger by Iggy Pop. I think David Bowie wrote it.
Oh, David Bowie wrote that song.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. This is the first one that comes to mind. Like, that's one of the greatest songs of all time.
I'm gonna have to look. I've not heard it.
Yeah. You when you hear it, you'll be like, oh yeah, I've heard that.
Okay, but David Bowie's a beast.
Yeah.
While we're on the subject, so like our motivations can change after a while, right? So before you were on, your motivation was to get on or whatever. Like, what's your motivation? Yeah. What's your motivation now? If you had to articulate it.
Good question. Yeah. My motivation is to continue, is to get to keep doing this, is to contribute good music, to be able to still tour, to hit the road and to meet these fans and to see them in the crowd and to be engaged and connected. Most people don't get a year in this game. To be a decade plus in still doing it is a blessing. And, not to say I'm not hungrier now than I ever have been, but there's also like just want to be able to keep doing it. You know what I mean? And to sustain and to get to keep, putting out good music and connecting with the world would be a blessing.
Amen. What do you think, 60-year-old G-Eazy is going to be doing, man? on that note, right?
60-year-old G-Eazy. 60-year-old G-Eazy. I enjoying life for sure.
You want to farm? Like, where are we? Like,
I've always imagined Montana. Yeah,
I've
always imagined Montana. Yeah, it's crazy. My mom and dad lived in Montana before I was born, and they'd always wanted to have 2 boys. And they planted seeds for trees in the front yard.
That's so fire.
That house, yeah. And my mom a few years ago had found the Zillow of that house.
Bro,
I looked up, and
what?
those 2 trees are huge.
What?
Yeah, it was like eerie, and yeah, and they had 2 boys, and they're 2 6'4" Geminis. Like it was. It's crazy how life works, man.
That's crazy. Okay, the last thing I want to bring it home with is this, because I don't know, balancing, like you said, this game could be a little crazy, right? And understatement right there. Yeah. So like, how do you balance ambition and peace of mind? Such a tough balance, right? Like, I mean, I struggle with that myself.
If you figure it out,
bro.
tell
like,
me, man.
Come on, I thought you had some answers for this.
Man, I live with a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of tension. Whenever I go get a massage, which is never enough, they're like, holy shit, goddamn, what are you going through?
Wow.
And I just I've figured out how to bottle it up and how to channel it. That's where the fire comes from on stage, is I let that all out, like, and the energy of jumping around and fucking, and ferocious, like, it's my release. But I don't know, man. I mean, there's a certain amount of anxiety and stress that is kind of, unfortunately, like, inherently attached to it. It's like, I mean, there's a quote that I don't necessarily agree with, but it's like, healthy and happy people don't make great art. And you like, I don't believe that to be entirely true at all. But the nerve-wracking aspect of, like, there's an edge to it that, it's kind of inherent. You were sharing about your friendship with Mac Miller and like how you check on each other. Yeah. This is what we're talking about now. Yeah. Like, knowing you're built this way. Yeah. It's deep. Yeah, man. Man, this was blessed. Yo, dude. Sincerely, man. We got to, like, more of this. Man. More of this. I think there might be round 2. We'll see, man. Yeah, man. I made a friend today, man. Yeah. Bless, man, bless. Thank you so much. Cheers, and everybody look out for Helium coming soon. Yeah, Helium coming very, 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 very soon. And we'll stay tuned. We'll be back. Yeah. Much love. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace. This was fire. Dude. Yeah. Bro, appreciate it. Plus, right? Yeah, absolutely.